Welcome to another video. In this video I'm going to take you to Manchester. Manchester is a great northern town, absolutely beautiful city. I'm going to do a review of the Kimpton Clocktower Hotel, which is iconic. It's an iconic building, and a little walk around Manchester and a little glimpse of Moulin Rouge, the musical. If that's something you'd like, I didn't film any of the musical, obviously you can't do, but I did do the theatre. So if that's something you'd like, keep watching. Well, hello and welcome to my weekly vlog. Well, this week I've taken a trip to Manchester. I stayed at the beautiful Kimpton Clocktower Hotel. We actually went on the train to Manchester. I went with my sister-in-law, Linda, and we went on the train, and the hotel is very near Oxford Road train station, which has its good points and its bad points, but it's very near. And it's just opposite the theatre where Moulin Rouge was on. And Moulin Rouge, my daughter bought us tickets for Christmas for Moulin Rouge. So we had a lovely day in Manchester and an overnight stay. So I hope you'll enjoy it. Now, if you haven't been to Manchester, it's an absolutely wonderful city. I mean, it did have the bomb. I don't know if you remember the Manchester bombings, but they haven't let that affect them. They just built it with, honestly, it's splendid. It really is splendid. And the emblem of Manchester is the worker bee, which it's actually come more to the forefront since the bombings. But it's everywhere, the worker bee. It's their symbol. I think it was in the Industrial Revolution they adopted the worker bee. In fact, HMS Manchester was actually nicknamed Busy Bee. So, Busy Bee Marie, you need to come to Manchester. So anyway, I'll start off the video showing you when we arrive, and I may pop in to explain a few things on the way. Okay, so sit back and keep watching, and I hope you enjoy this video. Here we are, we've arrived at Manchester, and this is the entrance to the hotel. It's the most beautiful hotel. It used to be the Refuge Assurance Building, and it's now the Kimpton Clocktower. This is our room at the Kimpton Hotel in Manchester. It's the most beautiful hotel, which makes up for the hotel we stayed at last time we came, which wasn't this hotel, I have to say. It is lovely. It's a beautiful hotel, very oldie worldy, and it's the old Refuge Insurance Building. Look at the tiles on the wall. It's very near the theatre and the train station. That's the train station, Oxford Road. These are the tight tables. Can you see they're like a leather chest? And these are obviously the old tiles from the old building. I'm just talking to the video camera. And even the wardrobe here is like a big chest. Beautiful. Let me just show you how tall the ceilings are. This is a bathroom, which was very nice. This is a corridor in the Kimpton. It's a Kimpton Clocktower in Manchester. It's beautiful. It's a bit of a different hotel. Linda's just gone back to the room. She's forgot her walking stick. This is the bar. It's called Refuge, which, you know, it used to be the Refuge Assurance Company, so you can see why. And the restaurant's just in the corner to the right. It's very big, the restaurant. As you can see. We did book dinner for later on. On a Tuesday, they have a ladies' dinner, it was lovely. It was chicken, buttermilk chicken and Caesar salad and a glass of rosé wine, and it was £18, which we didn't think was bad because it was a really substantial salad. You'll probably see it later on. I can't remember whether I filmed it or not. We decided to have a snack in the bar. This is what we had. We had a cocktail each, a flatbread and some olives. It was delicious. The cocktails midweek in the day are £8. Thought I'd show you this beautiful wallpaper on the way into the ladies. I'm not taking you in the ladies, you're okay. I think it's by a company called Woodchip and Magnolia. And I just thought I'd walk down this corridor. It takes you through to another area, which obviously is an entertainment, a bar area. It wasn't open today because, you know, it's Tuesday midweek and it's the Terrace Bar, I think it's called. It's lovely. The building's a grade 2 listed red brick and terracotta building. And as I say, it was designed for the Refuge Assurance Company. And it was built in between 1891 and 1895. So you can see how old it was. The ground floor is a large open business hall, and it was extended with a 217-foot tower along Oxford Street by Paul Waterhouse, the architect's son. After our lunch and our little cocktail, we thought we'd step out and have a little look around Manchester. The weather forecast had been really bad. It said it was going to rain, but we were lucky, you know, it didn't rain, and we were glad we hadn't taken raincoats with us because it got quite warm. This is a theatre where the Moulin Rouge is on. It's the Palace Theatre in Manchester. Incidentally, the hotel used to be called the Palace Hotel years ago. You can see Moulin Rouge. Here we are just going around Manchester. Then we came across a statue of Emily Pankhurst. Well, Emmeline Pankhurst. She was a British activist, political activist, and she formed the suffragette movement, which helped to win women the vote in 1918. So, a very important figure. She was born in Manchester on Moss Side, I think. So we both posed for photos with her. It was a lovely statue. And this tells you around it. She was born in 1858 and died in 1928. I didn't realise she lived till she was 70. Because I think they were put in prison and starved. Well, they weren't starved. They went on hunger strike. Well, now we're just walking around Chinatown, which is not too far from the hotel. You know, if you stayed in the hotel, it's very near Chinatown. The beautiful gates to Chinatown, aren't they beautiful? Of course, we had to have a photo of them. If we'd have thought about it, we could have eaten in Chinatown. But anyway, we booked, as I say, the dinner in the hotel, which was lovely. It's getting quite windy now. So we just decided to stop. Well, we were going to get a coffee actually, but they didn't have any decaf, so we had a shandy, which was really nice. We just sat outside. It was at Witherspoons or whatever it's called. I just thought I'd show you the Manchester Bee on the back of the bus. And they call it the Bee Network. Right, back at the hotel now. This is the foyer, the reception area. And this was on the way to our room. We had to walk through this. And it was the old safe room where all the safes were kept when it was the insurance company. I think I did video. Yes, here we are. The safe department. And you can read all about it there. I won't read it all out to you. You can read it if you want to. I did try and slow it down. But can you see the people there, how they used to look? You know, that's where they kept all the records. Each policy was typed by these typists. How times have changed. And carbon copies. Do you remember taking carbon copies of things? You wouldn't even think of it now. Your fingers used to get all blued in with the carbon paper. The room's absolutely beautiful, though, honestly. The wood, you know, that all the safes are, it's like polished wood. At first, when I walked into it, I know you probably laughed, but I thought, are these really posh toilets or something? Because it's like, amazing, they're all like a cubicle, you know, but it's absolutely beautiful. It's nice. Beautiful wood. Here we are in the restaurant where we went for dinner. The kind waitress took these photos of us. There's my lovely sister-in-law, Linda. Looking stunning as always. We just were acting a bit stupid there. Then we went out to the theatre. And this is the Palace Theatre where Moulin Rouge is on. I couldn't film much in the theatre because you can't, you know, with copyright and everything. But I did film a bit before it started. It was a fabulous show. And we had really good seats, you know, we got a really good view. Because in England, the old theatres don't have a lot of room. I don't know if it's the same everywhere else. You know, you usually don't have a lot of leg room. They had put air conditioning in though. The first half was absolutely freezing.
Out of consideration.
Here's Linda and myself sat in our seats before the show starts. The interval, I think. Everybody's coming back with the drinks. And then back to the hotel. We just had another little tipple before we went to bed. Another little cocktail, actually. They weren't £8 though at that time of night. This is the next morning, and we noticed that there was a ballroom down on the lower ground floor. So we thought we'd go down to have a look at it. It is beautiful. It's magnificent. Can you see it? The carpet looks brand new. I'm guessing there's probably a dance floor under the carpet, you know, because it is a ballroom. It's absolutely stunning. It's a massive, massive room. Just look at the ceilings. Apparently, when it was owned by the Refuge Assurance Company, this was a staff canteen. So you could see how many workers they must have had, because it's a massive, massive room. It's so beautiful. Of course, it was empty when we were there, and this was quite early in the morning. And this is on the lower ground floor. It's stunning. It's lovely that they kept all the architecture from the original building. There's Linda. This is in the lobby of the hotel, and you can see this beautiful bronze horse. Now this was commissioned by Sophie Dickens, and that's Charles Dickens' great-great-granddaughter. You can probably see there's a turning circle, and it's the outline of the turning circle which was used by horse-drawn coaches to bring the mail in and then to be turned around to head back out. It's absolutely beautiful. Can you see? It's like it looks like flowers, but it's like a rag rug as well. It's absolutely gorgeous. Lovely to take photos, and the staff were so helpful taking photos for us. It's such a beautiful place. As you can see, this is a bike that you can borrow to ride around Manchester. How amazing is that? We're sort of coming to the end of our stay now. Just one final look at the lobby. It's so beautiful. The stained glass windows all round, and I'm not sure if that glass dome wasn't created later. I'm sure I read somewhere that it was. Can you see the turning circle there for the horses? Well, it depicts a turning circle. It's such a beautiful hotel. I would highly recommend it. This was our breakfast the next morning. And this was the dining room. Well, the restaurant. The glamour of Manchester. I just had poached eggs on toast, and Linda had eggs royale. One thing I thought was a bit strange, the eggs royale had an £8 supplement on, which I thought was a bit strange for a 4-star hotel. You would think that when you pay for breakfast that would have covered it. But anyway, it was worth it. It was all nice. This is the buffet. So back home now. So that was our little trip to Manchester. I hope you've enjoyed it, and a review of the Kimpton Clocktower Hotel, which I loved. I really loved. I would definitely go back again. It's lovely. Everywhere's nice. The food was good and everything. The only disadvantages I would say are, I thought it was a bit strange that you had to pay a supplement when we'd already paid for breakfast to just have eggs royale. I mean, it was a 4-star hotel. So that was a bit bizarre. And also, the other thing I would recommend if you went to stay there is to ask for a room as far further away from the train station. We were, I mean, it is next to the train station, so you can't avoid that it's near the train station. But our room, we were in room 255, and it was a beautiful room, but it was really near where the trains went past, you know. And throughout the night that we were there, and this doesn't happen all the time, but the cargo trains, you know, I spoke to somebody in the hotel. They wasn't complaining or anything, because, you know, the stay was lovely. But we just mentioned that, you know, well, I hadn't been able to get any sleep, and they said, oh, normally the trains finish at around 11:30, but if these ships come in the ports or something, the cargo ships, the cargo trains go. Well, that's what it sounded like, because it was so noisy, and they seemed to go on forever, you know. So, I mean, there are rooms away from there. So I would recommend that you get a room just a little bit further away from the noise of the trains. Although, you know, it's lovely seeing the trains, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the hotel. I would definitely, it would be my go-to hotel in Manchester. I've stayed at a few in Manchester, and it's by far the best. So that's my recommendation for the hotel. I'd give it 5 stars, honestly, 10 stars or whatever you can give it. It was amazing. Now, the other thing is the show. Now, I loved Moulin Rouge, the show. It was just as good as, I mean, the movie, the Baz Luhrmann movie was good, but it was brilliant. It was a lovely show, very colourful, lots of lovely dancing in it and singing. It was really, really good. So I would recommend that. And Manchester as a city, honestly, if you ever get a chance to go, there's so much to see. I mean, there's lots of museums and things like that, and galleries that we didn't go. I mean, we were only there a day, really. We only spent like a day there. But obviously, because I live not too far from Manchester, I've been lots of times. And it is really good. In fact, I'm going next month to see Cat Stevens. Yeah. And that will be at the Bridgewater Hall, which is another, it's the home of the Halley Orchestra there, which incidentally, when I was reading the history of the Kimpton Hotel, the clock tower, they were thinking of making that, because it's such an iconic building. And I think it was empty for a while, and they were saying, you know, it was such a beautiful building. They were thinking of making that the home for the Halley Orchestra. But anyway, they didn't. They're at the Bridgewater Hall. So I'll be going there to see Cat Stevens next month. for a lot of you young ones, if you haven't got any young subscribers, won't even know who Cat Stevens is, but you should do. He's an amazing songwriter, as well as singer and poet. So thank you so much for watching my video. I'd be grateful if you would subscribe if you're not subscribed. It's absolutely free. And I just wanted to tell you there is a new button on YouTube, which I would love you to press for me if you could. It just says hype, and if you press that, so many who get the most presses of the small YouTubers, it's only for small YouTubers like myself, and probably people with a lot more subscribers than me. But if you press it for me, it just means that YouTube will promote some of those videos that are hyped quite a bit. So please hype me. It doesn't cost anything. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. My next one will probably be the Sunday Sunshine Show, which I've not recorded yet, so I must get cracking. So thank you for watching. Bye.